Welcome into 5 Wide Fantasy. Today's video, we're looking at the best DFS targets for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Very, very excited to get into it. Last week, split on our 2 entries, but that ultimately made us some money, so that's always a good thing here. But I'll get into my favorite players to target. My favorite entries here. I'll have 2 entries ready to go into lightning lineups. If you guys haven't signed up at OwnersBox, it is the best way to support us and support the channel. So the link will be down below in the description to sign up. You get 2 free entries and a 100% deposit match up to $500. Let's get into the slate. Let's get into these players. We've got the Saturday and Sunday slates available to us. Of course, we'll start on Saturday. You can swap between the 2 here, between the Saturday main and the Sunday main. But again, lightning lineups presented with 3 lineups, 3 players each, picking the one we think is going to score the most fantasy points. Talk a little bit of strategy here and talk about some of the players. So let's start with the first game, Jacksonville, Kansas City. Very high total here, 53 points over at our partners at Betfred. So expected to be a lot of points. I expect the Chiefs to be very successful through the air. They were in the previous matchup with Jacksonville. So Patrick Mahomes is someone I'm definitely looking and finding ways to include in my lineup. He'll be a huge target for me. For the Jags side, I do expect them to be trailing in this game. I do expect them to have some success as well. Evan Ingram has turned out to be a very massive target for Trevor Lawrence in the latter half of this season. Not afraid to have him in my lineup, but definitely Mahomes is my big target from that game in that one. So moving to Eagles-Giants, I'm looking at the Eagles' rushing attack. Miles Sanders went for, I believe, 144 yards and 2 touchdowns in the previous game. I think they added almost 240 yards, maybe 250, honestly, in that matchup as well. The Eagles ran it really well. The Giants are not a good run defense. Their defense, I think, coming off the matchup against Minnesota, people take away the fact they won. They won't think as much about the fact that, honestly, Minnesota had a pretty easy time moving the ball down the field. So I like the Eagles in the run game for sure. On the other side with the Giants, I am very worried about their ability to generate points in this matchup. They struggled in a big-time trailing game script previously, but I'm looking at Daniel Jones, and his passing prop is only 223.5. Honestly, he hasn't been someone who's put up a lot of passing numbers. It's the ground that has really helped him and elevated him from a fantasy perspective. But I don't think Darius Slayton or Isaiah Hodgins will have big weeks. I think they will struggle because of the fact the Eagles have an elite duo in James Bradbury and Darius Slay on the outside, but they have been susceptible to the slot. One of the most susceptible actually in the league to the slot. So Richie James is definitely an option. So let's get to these options. Again, I'm targeting Richie James. I'm targeting Patrick Mahomes. I'm targeting Miles Sanders. Those are the 3 I'm looking at the most. And then I'm happy to fade guys like Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, like I mentioned. Definitely, that's how we're looking to do things here. So let's get through these lineups here and get an entry in. So again, looking at Patrick Mahomes, getting him with Kadarius Toney is definitely not a bad look here. Don't like going against Miles Sanders, so I will go to the next one because I've been looking through these lineups and know I can find something I like even more. Bang! Wow. Okay. That was too easy. I didn't think I'd get to this that easily. The 3 guys I love the most, Patrick Mahomes, Richie James, and Miles Sanders, all in the same entry. I could add an opponent lineup as well with Daniel Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram. I could add another opponent entry. I think this is the highest entry that you could possibly put together. So why don't we go against 4 other lineups and boost our payout to 3.5 times our money? I will happily take that. Let's throw $15 on there, and we could just move along real easy. So $15 pays $52.50. So going against these 4 opponent lineups, I love this trio. These are the guys I was looking for in the Saturday slate. I didn't even find all 3 of them when I did this earlier. So getting all 3 of them together, I will happily do. So let's lock that entry in. All right, and then now let's move along to the Sunday here. Sunday slate. We of course have Bills-Bengals. I think this game is going to be low scoring. We've seen the total dip from 50.5 all the way down to 48 at most books right now as I'm recording here. And it's because the Bengals, I think, are going to struggle offensively because of losing Jonah Williams now, it looks like, too. Obviously already without La'el Collins and who was the other, and Alex Kappa. So they're down to pretty much an entire, without other than the center's position, and basically a second string offensive line for Joe Burrow. And I think that's going to be troublesome for them. And then the other side with the Bills, I was very disappointed with the output from Josh Allen. This Bengals team does a great job of taking taking care of the deep part of the field. And that's all Allen was chasing against the Dolphins. I think they put a cap on this team in terms of being able to generate explosive plays. I'm looking at Devin Singletary and James Cook as guys who could be in for high volume and targets this week. That will be an emphasis, I'm sure, in practice, that taking those, those looks that the defense is giving you for Allen. So look for those guys for sure. And on the Bengals side, I'm not like incredibly high on this offense. That would be kind of how I would wire things down to. I bet the under earlier this week at 50. So I'm definitely in on a low total here in this game. 49ers, Cowboys. Looking at from the 49ers perspective, I'm definitely more in tune with looking to, I do think McCaffrey will have a decent day on the ground, but the receptions wise, the Cowboys have been great at limiting opponent receptions this season for running backs. The other options in terms of the passing game, I think Brock Purdy might struggle here. The Cowboys are a defense that it kind of thrives on being opportunistic. Trevon Diggs chasing the interceptions and whatnot. So I do have a problem with Purdy because I didn't like his game last week. On the Cowboys side, I'm looking at their pass catchers. I'm looking at Dak Prescott. The Niners have a very good run defense. I think Dak will need to be leaned on heavily here. So him and CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown, even Michael Gallup are definitely, I guess T.Y. Hilton probably a little bit more involved than Noah Brown, but their pass catchers are what I'm going for. So I'm looking for the Bills running backs. I'm looking for Dak Prescott. That's what I'm looking for here in these entries. So let's see what we can find. Okay, we don't have any of those guys, and not a single one of them in here. So that's an easy spin to the next. Got Zeke. You got CD and Gabe Davis. I think Gabe Davis will have a tough game. I think the deep part of the field will be taken away. So nothing there. Dak, Eli Mitchell, Gabe Davis, not something I'm too into. Again, looking for these Bills running backs will be good. James Cook, Jamar Chase, Gabe Davis. If I had to pick here, I probably would go with this lineup. Yeah, I'd probably go with this lineup, but even then, I'm going to skip to the next. Singletary, Kittle, Mixon. Again, I think Dak is, I want to make sure Dak is in whatever lineup I have. So I'm going to spin until I find Dak, and then we'll go to the running backs. Okay, this could be a lot of underneath looks for sure. The 49ers are a very good run defense, so I think that's going to make Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott's life very tough. And then we're going against, tertiary fourth options, I would argue. Yeah, let's go. I'm going here. Lineup 2. Let's see if we add any opponents, what we're going against. The 2 tight ends, Ayuk. I'm going to stay away from that. Let's go three lineup entry. Again, what I like here is Beasley. I think with another game with this offense, could see some more involvement. Obviously, easy for him to get back in, considering he was with this team just last year. Singletary could see some good volume because of the fact that this offense needs to kind of take what's given to them. And I like Dak. The Cowboys may need to lead on quite a bit with how good the 49ers run defense is. So let's throw in, let's make this a $20 entry. Pays out 45. So let's lock this entry in for Sunday. And we are ready to roll. We're ready to roll for the DFS slate on Saturday and Sunday on OwnersBox. Guys, go check out this game. It's a ton of fun. You're not worried about, how your opponents are doing, how people are doing in the entire contest. It's just you against generated lineups. You find your advantages, the game scripts you like, and you get in here and you can make some money because you're making more than 2 times your entry, and you only need one thing to happen. You only need one thing to happen, that lineup to beat the others. So go check it out on the platform. Again, the link to go sign up is down below. You get 2 free entries with the promo code Lightning10 and promo code DFS10, and as well, deposit match up to $500. So link is down below. Go check that out. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe as well. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Who do you think is going to win and advance the conference championship games this weekend? Love to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.